Welcome, everyone. We are back again for Arkan's Hearth. I am your host, Michael Jason Chandler. Happy to be back with you this evening. We have a new episode, and with me tonight are my co-hosts. To my right,
Thorin Wolf, owner and proprietor of Arkan's Juice Tavern and Arkan's Hearth Gaming. And to my right,
the Ginger. I would like a croissant, please. And that is all. And to my right,
the Pixie. I don't have a fucking croissant.
I wasn't asking you for one.
language.
Hey. Do we need to restart?
Hey, we don't need to restart, but watch your French. Both the cuss word and the croissant.
Okay. Watch your croissant.
I think you should watch. Never mind. That's going to be your married name. So,
Ginger Croissant.
Ginger Croissant. Yes, absolutely. Well, tonight we are going to do an episode on La Llorona. No, we don't. Okay, let's start that again. We do not have the rights for that. Parody.
It was less than 30 seconds. We're fine.
Tonight, we're going to do an episode on La Llorona and the Land of Enchantment. We're doing this because it's actually been a request. A number of us here, before we started the podcast, mentioned that we were interested in this story. So I'm going to try to do the very best I can to tell this story from the perspective of a New Mexican, as well as to respect the Hispanic names. But before I begin with this, folks, anything that is a truly Hispanic name, I will butcher it horribly like the honky cracker I am.
And then we will absolutely try to correct you.
And probably be just as bad because y'all some crackers too.
Yeah, that's true.
I took 3 years of Spanish. I can try.
You should
my
give
best.
it back. You should give it back.
I think we already talked about how I somehow skipped out on taking a language class.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
we did on that.
yeah, we did.
Well, and I took Latin because that's been really useful.
Latin?
Yes.
So in time?
No, the actual dead language version.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. Sometimes, I'll see something in Latin and be able to read it, and people go, oh, hey, look, he reads some Latin. It's been really useful in my life.
So useful.
Yeah, incredibly.
So would anybody mind if I texted our barista to bring me a drink while we're recording?
I think you should do it. I
totally
think you
forgot
should do it.
to
And the reason he can text our barista to get a drink is that we are sitting at this very moment in Mr. Wolf's wonderful establishment that he owns in the dungeon. We are recording our podcast in the dungeon of Arkan's Juice Tavern here in Farmington, New Mexico. Come down and see us. Wonderful coffees, wonderful smoothies. It's a great place. And it's also our forever home and our first ever sponsor. We love Arkan's Tavern. All right, so let's get to the show. Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Hold on, I'm texting.
So I have to wait. Yeah, you can't text.
I can't.
This is radio.
I can't text and drive.
Okay.
Calm down.
I'm driving.
Oh yeah.
It's radio.
I'm just.
Nobody can see that you can't focus because you're texting. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, and send.
All right.
And okay.
Really? You got to sit here and tell everyone. Okay. This is all staying in.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Welcome, listeners, to this week's voyage into myth, history, and the weird wonders of the American Southwest. Today, we're exploring La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, and showing how this centuries-old legend isn't just a ghost story, but a living cultural presence in New Mexico and beyond. New Mexico is one of the most historically rich and culturally unique states in the U.S., a land that was home to major cities centuries before many others ever existed. Santa Fe was founded in 1610. Santa Fe is the capital of New Mexico, for those of you out here who don't even know that we're a state in the United States. We are.
We are a state.
Yes, we are a state. Have been for many, many years. We're a young state, but we are a state. Young
yes
by,
and no. Never mind. That's a whole history lesson. I will not get into that today.
Maybe someday we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
I think we were the 47th state, if I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
we were in the late 40s, but not late 40s as in years, but as in number of states.
Right. I think we're the 47th state, if
Are we
I'm
the
not mistaken.
47th?
I'm pretty sure.
So now,
That sounds
okay.
right.
Yeah, that sounds okay.
You know, we have a handy thing called Google. Why don't we just look it up?
Somebody is welcome to look it up if they want to, but I'm going
I
to say,
can't text and drive.
as a lover of history, I'm going to declare that we're the 47th state, and I challenge my co-hosts to prove
Jason
me
is
wrong.
correct.
I knew it.
Dang it.
I know. Well, and this is cheating because last year I was a New Mexico history teacher.
Oh,
So,
But while we're the 47th state,
Mhm.
yes,
we have one of the oldest capitals.
we do. We do. And actually, Santa Fe was founded in 1610, making it the oldest capital city in the U.S., and it was founded years before the Pilgrims came to Plymouth Rock, which was 1620.
Which is so weird.
Also, in the oldest capital is the Palace of the Governors, which is really cool. We might cover it,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, heck
It's
yeah.
like,
There's a lot of cool stuff in Santa Fe,
if I
man.
remember correctly, it's like the longest continuously occupied building in New Mexico.
Yeah.
The
Well,
box of Kellogg cereal that was, had like secret plans for the atomic bomb on the bridge that was handed off from Germany.
you've got to look that up and tell
I've
that
still
story,
gotta
man.
figure out
You've
that
got to figure that
story.
out. I don't know that story. But I will say, you've got the Pueblo here that people have been living in for thousands of years. We have Santa Fe, which is beautiful and haunted and crazy. If you've ever studied American history, especially as a young person here in America, you're taught the Pilgrims came to Plymouth, and that's kind of the story you're told was the beginning of America. But actually, the Spanish were conquering Santa Fe from the Native Americans and building what would be the capital of New Mexico and a part of the United States, and years before the Pilgrims came here.
Plymouth Rock is really underwhelming, by the way. It is so small. It's like a
Here.
little rock.
I was going to tell you.
Pixie, you were saying.
I said Plymouth Rock is really underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's like the way that they explain it, it's like, oh, it's this really, and then you go see it, and it's just like barely even a boulder.
It's
They're,
really small.
they're not wrong.
Well, the problem is a bunch of people, it's been moved several times, right? And then
Okay.
a bunch of people
Really?
were breaking pieces off of it and then taking them home as souvenirs. And it was broken in half, and they have to glue the rock back together. So if you see pictures of the rock, there's a seam line in it.
no way.
Yeah, look it up, dude, right now.
Right now.
Yes, there's a seam line.
Hold on, I've got to go to Michael's and get some hot glue. Plymouth Rock is broken.
Glue the rock back together right now. Our rock.
Wow. This state is also America's original wine country. Grapes were first planted along the Rio Grande in early 1629, likely predating California's vineyards by over a century. New Mexico still has strange laws on the books. You want to say something about the wine country?
I didn't know that grapes could survive here.
Yes, actually, New Mexico has areas that are dry and on water lines. And I'm not exactly sure how it works, but there's places in New Mexico that grow wonderful, wonderful grapes for wine, and one of them is here. You've never heard of the wines of the San Juan?
Oh, yeah, I forgot they were here.
Yeah, they're like
Wow.
over there. Like, we have a really nice vineyard here in Farmington that sells their wines all over the world.
I actually had a grapevine growing up when we moved into the house that I live in now. And my mom used to juice the grapes and make like the best grape juice ever.
I imagine real grape juice. That's
Yeah.
probably
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
So freaking good. And then the grapevine freaking died, so now we don't have grapes anymore.
I had grapevines growing up, like in the backyard of my house when I was growing up. We had grapevines that just grew on the fence.
Climate change has kind of taken away a lot of the area to do this, though.
It has.
But back in the day, no, I remember growing up with grapes
Mhm.
Oh
like
yeah, dude.
all the time. Yeah.
We had peaches
Oh,
and
yeah.
plums.
Apricots, apricot trees, like
Mhm.
on the side of the road that
It's
just
different.
like.
And it's
wild.
actually always been less here than it is south of the state. There's a lot more water and it's a lot less desert. We are in the high desert area. So we still do have the wines of we have the wines of the Southwest here in Farmington, but they're in an area that's very oasis-like. It's got water.
Yeah.
A lot of places in
Up closer
Farmington.
to the dam.
Well, and to me, it's interesting because we think about like the Napa Valley and you think about California wine. And I didn't realize before we were researching this, even having been a history teacher, this didn't come up in middle school history, that we've been growing wine in New Mexico since 1629.
That's a long time.
That is
Longer
a
than
long-
we've been growing green chili.
Let's not talk about that because green chili's forever and you're wrong.
Absolutely.
You're wrong. Green chili's been around forever. Don't break my heart. So New Mexico still has laws on the books, like a statute here in New Mexico where it prohibits you from dancing while wearing a sombrero. It's a real thing, folks. And the vast rural landscapes of New Mexico have more cattle than people. There are more cows than people in New Mexico. These facts frame a rich world that is our New Mexico. The culture, the landscape, strange fears and folklore converging into a modern world. And here we will peer into a powerful legend. Did you want to say something about cows?
No.
Oh, I just got the
No.
feeling Pixie wanted to say
They
something
did
about
not.
cows. Oh, okay.
I can vouch for that. They did not.
So Ginger's threatening you. I get it.
No.
Something about Ginger's cow family. We'll get into that someday.
Absolutely.
Have a whole episode about it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So La Llorona means the weeping woman, a mythic figure whose mournful cries are said to carry over rivers, lakes, and creeks. In most traditional versions, she wanders the night, searching for lost children while calling out, I'm not going to say this in the Spanish, somebody else wants to do it, they can, but calling out, my children, where are my children? Would anyone like to try the Spanish?
I think we should make the ginger do it since she took
Since
so
she
much
did,
damage.
okay.
I
Oh,
just said I would try my best. That is all I was saying.
So, folks, if
Donde
you...
está mis
No.
hijos?
Okay, hold on.
No. Okay.
It says, mis hijos, ¿dónde están mis hijos?
Yeah, well, it means my children were my children, and that's the traditional, folks. It is sad but true that we don't have any Hispanic hosts on this podcast, which in New Mexico we should be ashamed. But oh well, we also don't have any Native Americans, and they're all over the place too. I don't know why that is. How did I end up with you honkies? Anyways. Cricket. Though versions vary, the typical tale centers around a tragically misguided mother. A beautiful woman, sometimes named Maria, loves fervently, but is betrayed or abandoned, and in a fit of grief or rage, she drowns her own children in the river, and then herself. Denied peace and death, her ghost eternally roams near water, crying out in sorrow.
This is like the first episode of Supernatural.
They did do an episode of Supernatural.
Okay, so the Supernatural version
Now, the Supernatural version,
was called The White Lady.
yeah, they didn't call her La Llorona. It's
No.
not, but it's a similar legend.
No, this legend actually like I know this is the New Mexico Spanish version, but this legend is all across.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
There's different.
I mean,
versions
there are
everywhere.
connections to the Banshees and Irish
Mhm,
folklore. But I mean, the reason that I'm sticking with La Llorona is because we are in New Mexico. And I'll get to it later on in the episode, but it has really grown far past the myth where, a lot of people still will talk about the Banshee and whatnot in history and folklore. But there are people in New Mexico who very strongly believe in La Llorona and believe that she is definitely out there and she is weeping and they hear her. And we're going to talk about that later in the episode. So why is the story stuck? The legend functions on multiple levels. It's a moral warning, a shepherding tool, if you will, to keep children home after dark. It's a historical echo representing the deep emotional cost and loss and displacement that the Hispanic people felt during the many wars, the Mexican-American War, the colonies and the colonial wars, when the Spanish conquistadors came and conquered the Native Americans in this area, when then westward expansion basically took those settlements and conquered them again. This area has had a lot of cultural trauma, and La Llorona is connected to that. It also blends indigenous motifs and the horrors of the Hispanic colonial invasion, as I said, here in New Mexico. So some scholars suggest that there are parallels between La Llorona and the Mesoamerican female spirits or goddesses associated with water and grief, such as the Aztec weeping goddess. And I'm going to say this, and I apologize ahead of time, Colti or Xacoltl? It's hard to say. It's Aztec, folks.
That's not Spanish. That's Aztec.
That is Aztecian.
I don't know.
Okay. I believe that
It's
the
Aztec.
language is also Aztec, if I'm not mistaken. So versions of the tale may have mingled with ghost stories that originated from Spanish colonization or were brought to America from Europe. As we said, that there are crossovers with other European legends. And in the 19th century, The earliest published literary depiction of La Llorona was in a poem by Manuel Carpio.
Manuel
Manuel Carpio, maybe?
Carpio.
Again, I will butcher every name, and I apologize.
Oh no, we're going to try to correct you every single time,
Yeah,
even though
fine.
we're pretty bad at it too.
Yeah. This version did not include the killing of children. So the legend's persistence owes much of its adaptability to local color, fears, and customs, while retaining the core image, the sorrowful woman haunting the water's edge. La Llorona came into New Mexico, again through Spanish influence, but evolved through oral tradition. Stories from northern New Mexico describe sightings near rivers and arroyos. Her tall, thin white gown echoing wails from the darkness. In Santa Fe, reports of unexplained cries and eerie experiences have grown around buildings constructed near old burial grounds. In Albuquerque, the legend has evolved to the local ditch witch, a version adults use to keep children away from dangerous irrigation ditches and arroyos.
So as ex-construction, that is not the ditch witch I know about.
Okay.
So a ditch witch is a giant chainsaw that like digs into the ground and cuts the ground so you can lay lines.
To make a ditch?
Yeah, it makes a ditch.
Yeah.
It makes a tiny ditch. But like,
And you call that a ditch witch?
Yeah, we call it a ditch witch.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Interesting. Well, according to some of my research, that's also a spirit along the arroyo or the irrigation ditches that, will steal children if they're not careful.
Do you think that ditch witch is awakened by the construction ditch witch?
Listen, the construction ditch witch will also make people disappear. You got to be careful.
So I think that we should definitely send Pixie out and see if we can get... No, never mind. Go ahead there.
I was just about to say, also growing up, we lived right by an irrigation ditch. And we weren't allowed to go outside without any kind of parental supervision because my mom and my dad didn't want us crawling up and falling into the ditch. But,
How else are you going to catch the crawdads?
Hold on.
We don't have crawdads.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Pixie, you heard wailing outside your house, and you live by
I'm
a
getting
ditch.
to that.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I will stop.
Let
Go ahead.
Pixie tell their stories.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, tell the story.
I used to have dreams of being outside alone, and I would, be walking beside the ditch bank, and, I could just, feel something following me.
Okay.
Ginger's all freaking out because I have so many scary paranormal experiences on a day-to-day basis for no reason.
If you want to get into it, so the River Walk down at Berg Park, I've walked that late at night many times, and I've definitely seen people, seen shadows moving, and there is actually a psychological effect or perceptive illusion where if you put human beings in low light or dark, they will see figures.
There's a name for that, pareidolia?
It's in the records. It's in this episode later on. I can't remember the name of it, but yes, there is an effect where you will, in dark, you'll see figures.
The other thing that was really scary about our ditch specifically is that it went under a highway, and we were really, really close to that overpass where it went under the highway. And during the winter, when they would empty out the ditch, me and my brother would go play in there, in the ditch. Don't look like that.
Listen, Pixie.
Ginger's giving such wonderful looks.
I found a lot of weird things in there, but yeah, they were always like, look, you can go down in there, but as long as you don't go under that overpass.
Listen, for the record, I'm making faces because every time Pixie lore drops about some kind of spooky experience, I get more worried I'm not going to have a best friend tomorrow.
I'm gonna throw this out here. I don't know about y'all, but I've been in a lot of auroras. I've been in a lot of ditches, and I'm a lot older than you guys, so I don't think. Well, I mean, maybe Pixie will disappear, but nobody else is going to.
So I used to spend a lot of time at Berg Park as well.
Huh?
There's some weird stuff. They chopped down half the
trees,
foliage, but before they did that, it was just teeming with weird things.
It's a strange park, and they have found bodies in that park many times.
Well,
Oh, God.
It happens to be somewhere where the homeless go.
Yeah.
And some other things in the late 90s, early 2000s that we probably shouldn't talk about.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, I mean, it's a much nicer park now.
Before we move off the subject of ditches, one time a bat flew into my face in a ditch. The end.
That happened to me at band practice. This one time at band camp.
If you start talking about a flute, I'm gonna rewind this episode.
No, Pixie played the saxophone and I played the trombone.
Oh, how sexy of you!
Yeah, I know, right?
Nah.
So anyway, okay.
So in public,
we got way off track.
Yeah, in public memory, the legend survives in personal stories, music, performances, festivals, where the wails of the weeping woman become part of our heritage, our community heritage. La Llorona isn't just a ghost story. She reflects social fears and collective loss, the pain of abandonment, the consequence of emotional trauma, the tension between community, tradition, and individual grief. The story has inspired numerous films. There was La Llorona in 1933. We mentioned the Supernatural episode that was about a white woman. Later adaptations, music. There's a popular Mexican folk song, La Llorona, that grows directly from this legend and is performed widely in Mexico and in the Southwest and beyond. La Llorona operates on emotional and symbolic levels: fear, loss, warning, and memory, bridging centuries of cultural borders. So the next part I put in is La Llorona as a cryptid. And the reason I did that is because a lot of people, when you talk about New Mexico cryptids specifically, she comes up. I personally don't consider her a cryptid.
For those of you not from New Mexico, this state takes its cryptids very seriously.
Ridiculously.
We are big Bigfoot fans out here.
Big Bigfoot?
I actually used to go hunting with cryptozoologists. Absolutely.
That's so
yes,
cool. We should go.
Maybe. It got weird.
That tells me Thorin has
come on.
things.
Anytime you go out with a bunch of people looking for a cryptid, it's going to get weird. I mean,
you're not wrong.
if you
Silent Friends episode about that.
No, we had rocks thrown at us at our campsite.
Never mind. I don't want to go
No,
anymore.
it was weird. And we're not talking like little pebbles. We're talking like
big ass rocks.
Bigger than a softball. like just like chunk in the everybody's around the campfire.
Was it bigger than Plymouth Rock?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
But it did have a crack.
What it might have been.
It did have a crack.
And it was glued back together.
No. It's New Mexico. It wasn't a crack. It was meth.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, the guy that I went hunting with died.
Oh.
I don't really want to divulge too much because I might make this a later
Well,
story.
his family also might not want you to say the name. That's
Absolutely.
one thing. We usually get clearance on stuff like that.
I might be in contact with his family, and they might let me do an episode.
Right. Well, before we did
before we did
the episode on John, I got permission from his wife. I think that's good. Anytime we're talking about people, if we can get permission, we probably should. Yeah.
Anyway, going back.
But
I just wanted everyone to know that we take cryptids seriously, but why don't you think she's a cryptid?
Well, I mean, so we've been talking about her as folklore and as a legend, as cultural memory, but here in New Mexico, a lot of people consider her a cryptid. And the reason is a cryptid is typically defined as a creature or being whose existence is claimed to be real, but is not scientifically verified. This includes Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, Mothman. There's a lot of them out there.
Don't you diss Mothman.
I'm not dissing the Mothman.
You better not diss the Mothman.
You know what?
Mothman is more east.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I've got family from Jersey. I won't diss the Mothman. That's not my thing.
Oh, the Jersey Devil?
That too, the Jersey Devil. Heck yeah. But no, I mean, this term comes from a group of people who study hidden or unknown animals known as cryptozoology or cryptozoologists. Traditionally, cryptids are thought as physical creatures, but in popular culture, they are often defined in a more broad sense for, paranormal humans, shadow figures, black-eyed children,
Oh god.
regional ghost entities tied to repeated sightings.
Black-eyed children are terrifying.
Yeah, nothing on this planet freaks me out more than that.
Oh no! Don't forget about the little people, like the
wee ones?
hobbits. Yeah, the wee ones. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff's real, totally. Sure. I don't believe it, folks. But anyways, this is where the La Llorona legend becomes interesting. Unlike pure ghost stories, La Llorona has reported sightings, geographic hotspots, consistent physical descriptions. Everybody sees the weeping woman with the white dress, and eyewitness narratives spanning generations. In New Mexico, she's often reported as being along the Rio Grande or irrigation ditches or arroyos. Am I saying that right? Arroyos?
It's arroyos.
It is arroyos.
Yeah. Irrigation ditches, arroyos, rural river crossings, and people report hearing the wailing at night, seeing a tall woman in white, a figure that vanishes when approached, and sudden drops in temperature near water. These reoccurring extraordinary reports move her from story and legend into an encounter narrative. Ben.Radford, in The Mysterious New Mexico 2014, discussed how La Llorona is often treated as a real supernatural entities by locals, not merely metaphor. He notes that many people report these experiences and don't frame them as symbolic. They describe them as literal. Folklore studies show that legends persist longest when they're tied to specific physical locations, they reinforce real environmental danger, like a fast-moving river, and they're retold in personal experiences rather than distant myths. In Albuquerque, the Ditch Witch, not the one that Thorne was talking about, but the variation of La Llorona, is a localized entity described almost like a territorial being of the area, used as a warning, but also sometimes reported as being physically seen. A number of places in New Mexico say that she is shifted from a legend and a cautionary tale. It's gone from don't go near the river or La Llorona will get you to a real being existing near waterways, where someone might say someone saw La Llorona last night near the water.
So, do you think it's the connection to the water instead of so spirits usually are trapped in a spot? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, La Llorona.
La Llorona, yeah.
This entity seems like a ghost to me,
Right.
Spirit.
And a lot of people consider it a ghost
And
story.
ghosts and spirits are usually locked into one place.
Some people believe that, yeah.
So is she literally attached to the water, maybe?
I mean, that's kind of a difficult question to answer in that, we would have to go pretty deep into belief there. And I think when you're talking about something that is a legend or a myth or, not verifiably real, I'm not saying that La Llorona is not real. I'm saying that because I don't want to get people to yell at me. I think it's a myth and a legend. And I think that it's, as human beings, we love a good story. Put us in low light, we'll see shadows moving. Put us near water and we hear, in a little bit I'm going to talk about, things that are natural that make sounds that sound like screaming or wailing. You put somebody near some water, you put them in low light, boom, you sing shadows. Then you hear something, and it sounds like somebody screaming or crying. And you think, oh my God,
That's coyote.
it's real. But it's not. You're just a human being having a human experience with a coyote off in the distance. I'm not saying that La Llorona is not real. And if you believe in La Llorona, I'm not trying to disrespect that. What I'm saying is it's possible that we're also having humans having an experience.
Small coyote tangent.
Folks, here in New Mexico, we have coyotes, and we have a lot of them.
So actually, this wasn't in New Mexico. This was in Yellowstone.
Oh, well.
We stayed in a log cabin at Yellowstone, and it was my family and like 3 other families from our cousins. And all of the cousins decided to sleep on the like balcony part of. So there was like the main floor, and then there was like a half balcony of the cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so we were all sleeping on the balcony on the floor. We were just like laid out, and I started hearing this noise, and I'm like, what is that? And I think it's one of my cousins, so I reach over and I slap the shit out of my cousin. And he's like, what was that for? I'm like, shut up. He's like, it's not even me. And we're like wondering, we're like, what is that? Because it's like, it's the weirdest sound ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Wait, how'd
it's
that go again?
It's like something trying to.
You know what? You're not wrong. But...
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not.
You're not.
I'm not wrong.
It's a strange sound. And you've got to remember that sound through the wind at night in the dark
by running water.
It gets muddled. It gets changed.
The sound waves actually get changed by the water, like lapping up and down,
and by the wind, and by everything.
The other thing that sounds exactly like a screaming woman is mountain lions.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
And we have those here too.
Exactly.
I really wish everyone could have seen Pixie's face when they were making the coyote sound.
Oh what?
Can you get that one more time?
Yeah.
Just...
Okay. Enough coyote sound, people. Well, and the other one that I put on here, which I've also, if you've ever been in an arroyo and the wind hits it just right, it can make a sound that sounds like someone like screaming or crying. And it's hard to explain if you've never been there, but I have heard this, and you can change the sound by literally walking up, trying to walk partially out of the arroyo. It'll vanish, it'll change in pitch, so it becomes, and it's only when the wind hits it right. So you can definitely play with it, but if you're not realizing what you're hearing and you don't play with it, you're just standing there. What you're going to think you're hearing is
wailing.
And the fact that here in Farmington, Aztec, and Bloomfield, our arroyos are smaller.
They are.
Than you would have in like Albuquerque or Santa Fe.
And it was
so
Albuquerque
like
I had that effect. In Albuquerque, where it was literally, they came up to like above my head.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the smaller ones here, I've never heard anything. I mean, they have some weird whistling sound sometimes, but you don't get that strange.
You can see the ones in California. They're huge.
There you go.
Like, remember Terminator? No. Yeah. Like where they're doing the motorcycle scene over the bridge and everything. That's an arroyo in California. Ours don't get that big.
No, they don't get that big.
Like,
But in Albuquerque, they'll definitely go over. I'm 6'2",
and
they'll go over my head. And that's the thing, is that you're in those, and especially the dirt, when it's just dirt, it's not concreted over. The natural, something about that, it'll just hit, wind will hit just right, and it makes weird noises.
The right place, and it's just
But it's not so weird that it doesn't happen regularly. And it doesn't take much wind. It doesn't have to be like a huge breeze either. It's just a little bit of wind, hits it just right.
Actually, the slower the wind, it's, you know what I mean? That way it like actually gets down there and never mind.
Don't worry, guys.
Dynamics.
I looked up the Terminator scene, and now I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well,
cool.
So my God, you had to look it up. So old. No, I'm sorry. You've never seen Terminator 2?
No.
I've never seen Terminator 1.
Same.
They're good movies.
I have nothing against them. I just never got to see them.
Your parents failed
Look,
you.
if Skynet ever comes to your house...
I was a very protected child, okay?
I have a long list of things I've been told I must see.
You know, you say you were protected, but apparently you had La Llorona outside your bedroom window.
No, that was a very recent thing.
Oh, okay. To get back to it, this is the pareidolia. Pareidolia is the human tendency to see figures in darkness. Then there's cultural priming. If you grew up hearing these legends and the La Llorona stories, your brain may interpret the stimuli, especially all of these things, through that framework and start to believe in what you're seeing, what you're hearing. I mean, folklorists will argue that the legend persists as it fulfills emotional and communal needs. It attaches fear to real environmental hazards because it's not good to fall into the San Juan. People die doing it every year.
Yeah.
You
On the
know,
bridge next to my house.
yeah. Well, and I mean, people will commit suicide, but they're also just people who slip and fall. They do something stupid. We have a drunk fall into the river, and it's the river of lost souls, folks. I mean, that's what it means.
And those rapids are no joke.
Yeah, well, they don't seem like they're a big deal. Like you go to Colorado, the Colorado rivers the
Crazy,
rapids
yeah.
are so much more powerful. So I think that's part of it. People will just walk into the San Juan like it's no big deal and then die.
As someone who almost drowned in a river,
Oh yeah.
rapids are really no joke, even if they look like little ones.
Samesies.
Hey, twins!
Twinsies.
Why were you in
So-
the river?
We were on a canoe trip for Mother's Day, so my mom had a day by herself, and it went bad.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually so scared of wild water. Wild water!
As opposed to culturally trained, significantly
That's not what I meant.
responsible and wise learned water. You're not as afraid.
That is not how I meant that.
Everyone, Pixie is terrified unless the water's gone to college, and it's very important to remember. So, why La Llorona is not a cryptid? Now, this is just me, folks. My fellow podcasters can say I'm lying, but this is my belief. Unlike Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, she carries deep historical roots tied to colonization and cultural identity. Now, I'm not trying to say to my fellow Scots, I am Scottish.
I was about to say.
I'm not saying that Nessie doesn't have historical roots, but La Llorona is about the loss and death of children. And when you look back historically into what colonists did to our native population, what they did to the native women and to the children, this is the type of historical roots we're talking about. La Llorona is born out of pain. Not like, Nessie's almost fun. We all love Nessie. La Llorona is not fun.
It's way more serious.
There's a darkness, and she represents gendered grief, so it's a women's grief, specifically maternal trauma. I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind. And then she's a part of literature and song and ritual, not just sightings. She exists simultaneously as many things. She's a legend, ghost story, a cultural archetype, a moral warning, and maybe even a cryptid-like, entity that people really see. She's a symbol of historical memory, historical trauma. No cryptids that I know occupy so many layers. I think to call her a cryptid is to say that maybe she's real, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I have here, so is La Llorona a cryptid? It depends on how you define the term, but I say no. I don't know if she's a ghost story or a myth. I love a good myth. She's not just a cryptid, because it feels like to say she's a cryptid, it feels like you're saying that, just because there are specific places you can go to see her, there's consistent descriptions. A lot of people have pretty consistent descriptions of Mothman and Nessie too. But she qualifies based on those things, but I don't think she qualifies based on, she's not a monster in the dark. She's a voice echoing centuries of grief along the Southwest.
Like you're saying, absolutely, there's way more history with this one than there would. How do I put this? Nessie and the Mothman
and the Jersey Devil.
And the Jersey Devil, those were started as early as the 1950s,
right.
1940s. Like not started, but I mean gained
right.
mainstream. This is old.
This is old. Well, and it's also, those things, honestly, and this is going to sound strange because I tend to think of myself as a scientist, and I tend to think of myself as more Scully than Mulder. You'd have to know X-Files. Sorry, folks. I just made an X-Files reference, and the young people in the room got confused.
Have you ever seen X-Files?
I've seen the intro.
I've seen the
intro. So Scully, so Mulder's the believer. Mulder is the FBI agent that believes in aliens, and he believes in cryptids, and he wants to believe, as he would say in the show. Scully is not that believer. Scully is the staunch scientist, the doctor who
never made sense to me because they literally stole her uterus.
Well, I think that if you watch the show over time, she
aliens stole her.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
We diverge.
I know
No,
talking
over
about.
time, the character, I think, became a believer. But the idea in the beginning was Scully didn't believe, Mulder
Right.
did. And that was to give a duality in the characters. It was to give them to make them different. I think of myself as much more not a believer. Mostly because, folks, when you hear my personal story, you're going to hear that I have been surrounded by legend and myth and magic and science and psychics and crazy things. Once upon a time, my family stocked up food for a year because the aliens were coming to get us, folks.
Oh,
I don't know
Lord.
what to tell you. I grew up surrounded by myth, and it was very real. So as an adult, I'm a little bit careful on what I believe, and I like to think I'm more of a scientific mind. That being said, I think that La Llorona is a myth, a legend, a folklore, and maybe a ghost. I'll even give you maybe she is the spirit or many spirits. I do believe in ghosts to some extent. Do I believe that Bigfoot could be real? I mean, could there be a big animal out there we've never seen? It's possible. We do find things that no person has ever seen. I think Bigfoot's a little hard to believe since we've all been looking for him for a while, and you'd have thought he'd have popped out by now, but maybe he is
There's not enough cameras in the woods.
Yeah, he is the 2026 hide and go seek champion. But I mean, is it possible that there's a Mothman, a Jersey Devil? Is it possible there are animals and creatures out there that we just haven't discovered because they're that good at hiding? Yes. And we do find those in science. We find new creatures in the ocean. We find new insects. That is possible.
Everything in the ocean looks like a cryptid.
Right.
Everything in the ocean looks like a cryptid.
I think La Llorona is something else. And that's all I'm saying on that. It's not a cryptid. It's. I think it almost takes away from what La Llorona is, the legend, to try to make her. I mean, what are we saying? She's some sort of Bigfoot creature that, to say she's a cryptid. So I wanted to kind of bring that up because I've had numerous people call her a cryptid, and I'm like, she's a historical legend, and she's very important to Hispanic culture, and maybe we don't maybe let's not group her in with Bigfoot. Not saying there's anything wrong with Bigfoot.
I'm on a site right now that says it's the top 10 New Mexico cryptids, and she's absolutely on the top 10 list.
I know.
And it doesn't make sense. Thunderbirds, on the other hand.
Okay, we'll get to it. But no, I mean, and I'm not saying that if you think she's a cryptid, but I would like people to take a beat and think about what she is. And think about her history and what she represents. How is she a cryptid? I mean, are you really going to go out and like Bigfoot hunters? Are you going to go La Llorona hunt? Let's go find us a weeping woman in a white dress and take pictures with her?
Doesn't she, if you find her, isn't that death calling your name?
Let's
not do that.
I'm just going to suggest that she is more culturally important, more mythologically important, more tied to our brothers and sisters of Hispanic origin who deserve the respect to their culture and their beliefs and their history enough to not group her in with some potential species we haven't discovered yet. I think she's a little more important than that.
Well, and she's representing such an important emotion thing. She represents mothers who have
lost children,
which is so painful, I'm sure. I haven't experienced it.
I hope you never do.
I agree.
Hope no one ever does. That's one of the reasons I bring it up. I wonder if turning her into a cryptid makes it easier. I wonder if she's represents something scary, horribly tragic, and so the scary story is too much, so we turn her in. But we saw her, and she was down there by the river, and so we almost turn her into this. Are people going to travel to New Mexico to hunt La Llorona? If you do, buy some green chili. It's great. I don't know what to tell you.
Come visit us.
Come to the tavern and get a smoothie.
Tell Jason he's wrong.
One of Shay's delicious food items.
Oh yeah, we have a wonderful gourmet chef here, and her food is phenomenal. Come down and see us. You can tell me how wrong I am, folks. But I just hope that people will recognize her as a persistent and important figure in Southwest legend and lore. Not a scary story, not a cryptid, but a piece of cultural history. She's more than a myth. She's part of the collective imagination, the soundscape of rivers, the beliefs of an ancient people, stories that families pass on. But I would invite listeners to explore New Mexico with fresh eyes. From Santa Fe's deep history to the vineyards of the Rio Grande, come and try our wonderful vineyard here in Farmington, New Mexico. Come and have a smoothie with us at Arkin's Tavern.
Come see all the cows.
Absolutely. We have lots of cows. Apparently, there's more cows. I did not realize we had more cows than people in New Mexico. I looked that up today. I was looking for cool, little side things, but come and see us, folks. We are often down here at Arkin's Juice Tavern. You can come and see us and tell me how wrong I am to my face.
Also, if you come in the summertime, there's lots of lizards.
There are
I love
blue-tailed skinks.
Those
They're
are my
neat.
favorite kind.
They're neat, huh?
Are they skinks?
Yeah, blue-tailed skinks. We get them.
Yeah.
We get a bunch of
I
them.
used to catch them when I was a kid. And,
Oh yeah.
I'd pick one up and the tail would pop off.
And
I
if
didn't know they were
you
skinks.
if you came to Arkin's Tavern on the right day, and my little sister is here, she catches lizards 24/7 in the summertime, so she could teach you how.
Same.
So, folks, this had many references. We will just go ahead and attach those on the comments if anybody wants to look at the many sources that I had for this episode. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening and for joining us and for listening. We always appreciate all of our wonderful listeners.
We don't really advertise, so if you could word of mouth tell your friends, come listen to us, come like us, come share
do all the things. Tell us, Sam.
Well, while Llorona may not be a cryptid, I know at least Pixie and I will be talking about cryptids. So if you're cryptid fans,
Right. No, and we do have cryptids.
Absolutely.
In New Mexico, we have cryptids, and I definitely want to cover some cryptids. This just isn't one of them.
I really want to talk about the chupacabra and the one that they said they found in Texas in 2014.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is that we have. I mean, there are
Saudi,
Bigfoot sightings here. The Thunderbird is it's a Navajo legend here. There's the mountains, the Navajo mountain creatures. I can't remember what they're called.
The tiny people.
We've got the tiny people. We've got, chupacabra. It's New Mexico, folks. There's all sorts of weird stuff around here. I just wanted to do this story. I definitely want to do historical stories from time to time, and I see this as historical. I see this as important to Hispanic culture. All right, folks, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Okay,
bye.